Oh.
So over the weekend, we heard from a U.S. District Court judge, Karen Immergut, saying, whoa, 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 slow your roll, President Trump. You don't get to be in charge of the National Guard. You're not going to allow or order Oregon troops to come into the city of Portland and stop the violence that's being perpetuated each and every night outside of the ICE facility. And one of the reasons she gave, one of the lines was something along the lines of, this is a constitutional issue, and this is not something that the Portland Police Bureau can't handle on their own. You don't need the troops. Now, number one, it's not up to a judge to decide whether or not troops are needed. That's not the role of a judge. But number two, Portland Police Bureau are not handling what's going on outside of this ICE facility in downtown Portland. That's precisely why the president has issued these orders for the Oregon National Guard to go in and assist. It's precisely because the city of Portland has asked Portland Police Bureau to pretty much not engage in any way, shape, or form outside of this facility, even when there are riots. So her argument there alone is just silly. But the president then responded by saying, okay, well, I'll send California up there. And so now the judge put out another ruling yesterday afternoon, evening, saying, no, you can't do that either. So this is going to an appeal. Now, we don't know the timeline necessarily. It could happen really quickly. It's going to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. They could immediately intervene and say, I'm putting the judge on hold, or we are upholding the judge's ruling as we move forward, and then it ends up getting to the Supreme Court, and then ultimately it doesn't really matter. The president's going to win this one just like he won in California. Going to the Ninth Circuit, while it's not quite the same as the Ninth Circuit used to be, which was just crazy uber liberal, it kind of depends on which judge panel you get. I'll remind you that in California, when they pushed the president on National Guard in L.A., it was actually the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal that said, no, the president gets to do this. So we'll see. It's not a given. Again, it kind of depends on the panel. But at the end of the day, what's going to happen here is what has happened in the past and what will continue to happen, which is, yeah, they're going to say a lower level judge will say, no, you can't do it. And then it gets overturned on appeal and the president wins. Now, this one is not necessarily the cut and dry case where you can just say that this is a uber liberal judge. I'm presuming it's not an uber liberal judge because she was appointed by Trump. But it doesn't mean that she was a Trump supporter when she was appointed by Trump. They don't quite check for that necessarily, at least not the way that you might think. The legal reasoning behind this is just not particularly good. And despite all of this, despite, again, Ron Wyden in the middle of the day in broad daylight is taking really nice videos of what's going on there, says, I don't see any riot here. He notably is absent from taking video at night when all the rioting actually happens. And over the weekend, that's precisely what happened. We saw 2 additional arrests by, I believe it was Portland Police Bureau in this case, over the course of the last 24 hours. And protester Lalani is using really bad arguments in talking with KATU to explain why you shouldn't send in federal troops.
We have lovely people who are just happy and they listen to music, they dance, they have a good time. We're a family.
We're just a family. We don't know what you're talking about. We're just having a party. I mean, yeah, we try to kill ICE agents, but who hasn't?
Summer of Love.
Oh my God.
This is not any form of war. This is just people actually exercising their rights. And, there has been violent protests. This isn't it.
What'd she say at the end there?
It hasn't been violent.
Hasn't been violent. No violence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then what do they care if the federal government arrives? Or the National Guard? What do they care? It'll be like that Pepsi commercial. Someone will take a nice little sunflower and put it in the the barrel of a firearm. And then everyone will hug it out. Isn't that what what was that? A Jenner Pepsi commercial?
I don't remember that one.
Oh, look that one up. That was from like last year. It might have been a little bit even longer than that. I can tell you're not looking it up because your hands aren't moving to type on the computer. Because now I'm curious if it was. I think it was like a Kylie Jenner commercial. It was a protest with a flower in the barrel of a gun. It might have been like 2 or 3 years ago. This was obviously post-COVID and post-George Floyd and the BLM movement. But that's basically what it kind of sounds like, that this protester is pretending is happening in Portland. They understand we have access to videos, right? Like, we have the videos of what's happening every single night. And I do not understand this strategy of pretending that there's been no violence and nothing happening, or claiming it's all the violence, all of it's just coming from ICE. It's just coming from them. Like, why do they think that's going to work?
2017, by the way, that ad was.
Was it that long ago?
Apparently, yeah.
It was pre-George Floyd?
Yeah. I'm seeing articles about it from 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, don't ask me about timelines ever again on anything. I always knew I wasn't good. I didn't realize it was that off. 2017? I could have sworn that was post George Floyd. It was before its time. Nick Sorter, a conservative independent journalist, more of an influencer. He was arrested in Portland. Turns out the Portland Police Bureau seem more interested in going after conservatives than they are, especially when they're victims, than they are the progressive criminals. He also spoke with KATU, and he said the reality is the protests are using up the resources and not allowing ICE agents to do the work that they are supposed to do, which is actually the intent of these protests/riots.
What you have here is you have resources that are being taken up that could be used for actual federal law enforcement purposes. These guys, like ICE agents, Border Patrol agents, are being used to guard the facility out here rather than being out in the field, right? The National Guard should be deployed to guard the facility while agents are allowed to do the jobs that they're prescribed to do.
He's, of course, right. But remember the other issue. It's not just to stop them from doing any kind of enforcement, but when they block the Sally Port, it means the illegal immigrant who is currently being detained might be detained for longer than 12 hours, which then would be a violation of their facility use agreement with the city, which is what the city is now using to try to pull the permits for this facility to even exist in Portland. It's all connected. It's all connected. Now, we've since heard from Police Chief Bob Day on the arrest of Nick Sorter.
And that's where we need to start bringing the temperature down, because we are seeing all of these different perspectives and all of these different opinions gather in this small one-block area. And then
he keeps saying small one-block area as if it makes him look better when it makes him look worse, because he's unable to control that small one-block area. He has zero control. It is an absolute free-for-all. And it's gotten so bad that you're forcing federal agents to intervene with the rioters. Oh, it's just one block. Why can't you figure out how to handle one block? You're a police chief.
Able to manage that in an appropriate way, and so we have these acts of violence. We have these fights. We have these assaults. They are occurring. We are doing investigations. We are making arrests, and we are sending those over to the district attorney's office for evaluation and hopeful prosecution. And we're going to continue to do that.
Okay. So he didn't really talk about the arrest of Nick Sorter, even though that's what people were interested in hearing about. Caroline Leavitt went on CNN. Caitlin Collins, of course, was there to pretend that what Trump is saying about Portland outside the ICE facility.
This was actually at the press briefing today. It was,
at the press briefing. I forget she's now in the crowd. But she talks to Caitlin Collins, who pretends that the president is inaccurately depicting what's going on outside of the ICE facility.
Because I spoke to the police chief of Portland last week. He said...
Yeah, the police chief who says everything is fine. It's only one block, even though he can't figure that part out.
That the president's claims just don't match up with what's happening on the ground.
I would encourage you as a reporter to go on the ground and to take a look at it for yourself, because there's been many members of the press, not press in this room, but independent journalists, some of whom we'll be inviting to the White House very soon to share their stories, because they have been in the middle of these riots and they have witnessed the anarchy that is taking place night after night. It's on video. You should play it on your show. You have a great opportunity in prime time on CNN to show your audience. Yeah, but you're probably talking to partisan Democrat officials who are opposed to...
I love, you couldn't quite hear what she was saying, but she was obviously pushing back at what I'm talking about. I don't care who you're talking to. Caroline Leavitt is making a valid point. You've got all of this video that says exactly the opposite, that proves what it is you're being told is not accurate. You've got all of this video. You could play the video that shows that what it is you're being told is false, or you can continue to just pretend that the people who are telling you all is well, there's no real issue, are the ones who are being honest. Like, there's the video evidence or the liar. You have a choice. You can play the video evidence, or you can play audio and amplify the liar. They're choosing the liars.
Everything this president does. You should also ask the people who live in Portland. We've actually heard from many members of the community who have said that this is complete civil disobedience. It's a mess. It's been loud. It's been troubling for neighbors in the community who are just trying to live peacefully. And these people are not there to peacefully protest. They are there to cause mayhem and havoc.
Hey, Caitlin, settle down. You're on the wrong side of this. And you have to have a special lack of integrity or hubris, I guess, to completely ignore all of the evidence here. All of it. It is overwhelming. And the strategy that the Biden administration and Democrats had put in place in 2020 is still being used today. Ignore all the video evidence. All of it. And it's why polling shows media support is yet again at record lows, or trust in media is again at record lows. It is why Democrats are losing this. And it's not to say that Republicans are doing really great in polling. That's never the case, according to left-wing polls. But people aren't going to fall for this. They're trying so hard to fool us all. It's not going to work.